Hi, my name is Christopher Queen, and I'm here at Mullins Library on the University of Arkansas campus in Fayetteville, Arkansas, and today I will be discussing the sculpture Rebirth by the artist Anita Huffington.
Quietly located on the landing between the first and second floor of Mullins Library, the piece is often overlooked, if not ignored completely. Anita Huffington's career in the visual arts was fostered and blossomed in what was known as the New York School of Art. Influenced by relationships with prominent figures in this movement, such as Klein and de Kooning, who she's pictured with here, Huffington's style was ultimately shaped by her time in New York. Anita Huffington's relationship to Arkansas, and more specifically the University of Arkansas, was further strengthened by her daughter's attendance at the university. The piece was completed in the year 1982. However, this year also tragically marked the death of Anita's daughter. Huffington cites her daughter as a main source of inspiration for the piece, and the death of her daughter soon after the piece's completion further adds to its meaning. Huffington claimed that the sculpture ultimately became a metaphor for change and growth in the many lives we lead, a continuum of all that has been passed on to us from countless lives, past and present. The piece is composed of a single piece of snowy alabaster that has been carved in a reductive manner. Furthermore, the piece is exemplary of sculpture in the round, featuring three-dimensional solidity and volume. The female form is highly stylized and shapes the features of the female in seemingly natural ways despite the extreme contortion of the body parts. Thus, the piece maintains organic fluidity by having the nude female form create an oval-like, biomorphic shape. Utilizing alabaster, Huffington fleshes out the piece's themes concerning change and growth. One has to notice the very raw and naturalistic tone of the piece set by the material. Alabaster's color and smooth texture also contribute to an overall sense of purity of medium. The piece also features light in very interesting ways. As alabaster is mostly translucent, the piece takes on varying degrees of opacity through the day as light shines through the windows around its display. The medium provides a manner by which the piece itself can change while retaining some inherent features. A feminist methodology of description and analysis seems a natural fit for this piece of art. Feminist methodology, according to A History of Western Art by Laurie Adams, assumes that the making of art, as well as its iconography and its reception by viewers, is influenced by gender. Anita Huffington, by compiling a catalog of work that glorifies and exemplifies the female form, was able to carve a niche within the artistic world as a woman who unabashedly sculpts the female form with obvious disregard for the considerations of the male-dominated profession. Furthermore, the female form isn't being cast into traditional gender roles. The seeming nudity of the gleaming alabaster liberates the form despite its huddled shape. The feminist methodology would consider Anita Huffington's contemplations on the female form and presence a large stride in the consideration of female artists in the canon of sculptural art. Classifying this sculpture with respect to its modern standing becomes quite the task, as its twisting shape seems to also be resisting being labeled. It is a form of contemporary sculpture that seems to cross into abstract expressionism. It is both recognizable as a human female and as something much more. The piece's most immediate point of comparison can be found in the work of futurist artist Brancusi's Mademoiselle Pogani. The subject of Brancusi's sculpture, Margaret Pogani, who was an artist in her own right, was later quoted as saying that Brancusi was a true artist, striving to find the expression for his own conception of art, which differed greatly from that of others. In that same way, Huffington disrupts the normative associations of the feminine form in pursuit of a true depiction of the human essence. The piece also recollects Renaissance works, more specifically the works of Michelangelo. Anita Huffington's female form trapped within its medium almost directly echoes Michelangelo's pieces entitled Slave. In much the same way that Michelangelo's subjects seem to be struggling against their own material of construction, so too does Huffington's Rebirth. I chose this piece for a singular reason. I've passed it countless times in Mullins Library without ever taking the time to appreciate it. It's placed on a landing in the library and is easily ignored as students pass going up and down the stairs. I find that this piece has a lot of personality and maintains the ability to speak to the viewer if it's given the time. There's a certain charm that arises from the relatively small size of the piece and the detail put into the face and the hair of the bent woman. Details like those make the piece approachable. They beg the viewer to question the piece's purpose. Thus, Anita Huffington has created an artistic statement that inevitably changes with time, but always has something to teach the viewer. And for that reason, Rebirth by Anita Huffington has quickly become one of my favorite pieces of art and one that I am not likely to ever forget.